Hello and welcome to CBJ News. I'm Tippy Bullard.
And I'm Stacey Smith. Here are your headlines for Friday the 28th of February. Nottinghamshire County Council has decided to allocate more than £3 million to repair potholes this year.
Also, Newstead Abbey have received close to £1.5 million for essential repairs.
And Nottingham has plenty of great sports teams, but have you heard of the city's Octopus club? A Nottinghamshire town has lost out on £9 million of funding promised to give the area a much-needed facelift. Plans to improve roads, the marketplace and public spaces in Hucknall have now been cancelled because of the lack of funds. Here's Sinead Priest with tonight's top story.
At the heart of Hucknall, its marketplace was one of the public spaces on the list for refurbishment. The town, including its shopping centre, was due to have a £9 million facelift, but that's now cancelled. Residents living in the former mining town, which has a population of almost 36,000 people, feel badly let down.
I'm really angry, to be honest. I've got a lot of younger siblings and cousins who would have really benefited from improving Titchfield Park, so it's a shame for them, really. I feel like if the government make a promise, then they shouldn't go back on their word, because it just harms the community at the end of the day.
I'm really upset, to be fair, because it would have made this community such a better place to live. I mean, even down to the roads, I'm having to take my car to the garage at least once, twice a month to get my tyre repaired. It's just absolutely disgusting with these potholes.
The money for Hucknall was announced in March 2024 by previous Conservative government. However, it has now been confirmed by the Labour government that the investment will not be forthcoming, with local Labour MP Michelle Welsh claiming the area has been the victim of false promises from the Conservatives. Businesses, such as the owner of the Red Lion pub, which had been reliant on the investment in the area, have been left reeling.
I've heard that they've scrapped it, so we're not going to be getting any money to make the town look neat and tidy and fix all the problems, the potholes and the rest of it that's wrong round here, which doesn't exactly help the infrastructure or any of the paying the bills and things, especially when you're trying very hard to keep things going and everything is around it is falling to bits. I mean, the drains around here are so bad that it literally floods every year. So, they could do with doing a bit of dredging of the river that's literally just outside the back door of this. So it's, it's fun and games. I do wish they'd pay a little bit more finances would be nice.
For now, without the cash investment and the much-needed funds, Hucknall has been left to fend for itself. Sinead Priest reports, CBJ News.
But in better news, Nottinghamshire has been given more than £3 million in extra funding from the government. The county has the highest number of potholes across the whole of the UK, with more than 250,000 reported in the last 2 years, which is why the county has decided to spend all the extra cash on repairing its roads. We can cross live now to our reporter Holly Pepper, who's at Parliament Street. So Holly, why did the government give Nottingham the extra funding?
Well, the extra £3.3 million from the government was given to Nottinghamshire County Council to decide on what they wanted to spend the money on. The leader of the County Council, Sam Smith, said there is such a large backlog of road repairs in Nottinghamshire, as you can see the potholes up this road. They estimate it will cost between £200 and £250 million to complete, so they said they decided to spend the budget on all of the money towards the repairs instead of using it for leisure.
Why did the council decide to spend the money on the potholes instead of another issue in the county?
The council say they are constantly working alongside Nottinghamshire residents to hear their concerns and change what they want in the county. Councillor Neil Clark says potholes and poor road services are one of Nottinghamshire's residents' biggest inconveniences.
At the last election, potholes and roads was the number 1 topic when we were talking to the public, and it still stays number 1 topic. So if you were to go to a majority of members of the public in Nottinghamshire, they would say, what's your 1 top issue? And most of them would say it's the roads.
And is the funding going to help the backlog?
Yes, Tippy, it is definitely going to be a great help. The funding has allowed the council to budget for all the road repairs this year and is allowing for the council to bring next year's planning forward. The council say that this is very unexpected because of the huge backlog, but they are very happy with the outcome.
Thanks, Holly. Nottinghamshire Police are making a positive difference to the lives of thousands of children affected by domestic abuse each year through a scheme known as Operation Encompass. Emily Davies is here in the studio with us to discuss this new scheme. So, Emily, what is Operation Encompass and can you tell us a bit more?
So, Operation Encompass is a police and education early information safeguarding partnership. So, it's enabling schools to offer immediate support to children who have experienced domestic abuse. So, their aim is to ensure that schools have timely information about all police attended incidents of domestic abuse. So, no matter where the child lives in the world. When the police attend incidents of domestic violence or abuse, they notify the designated safeguarding lead at the child's school. So then before the start of the next school day, they are told that information. The safeguarding lead then makes the child gets the immediate support that they need. The next video you see is part of a brief video that tells the story of how the experience of one child instigated the creation of Operation Encompass by Elizabeth and David Carney Hayworth OBEs.
She then went on to detail an incredibly violent domestic abuse incident that had happened in that little boy's home in June. And straight away, I knew that that is why his behaviours had changed, and I was both furious and devastated. I was devastated because we'd failed that child, but we were failed as a school because nobody had shared that information with us.
And around how many incidents are reported a year in Nottinghamshire?
So during the course of last year, Nottinghamshire Police received 9,741 reported incidents of domestic abuse involving children. Which is why it's so crucial that last May, Operation Encompass was placed into law, putting a statutory obligation on UK police forces to share Operation Encompass notifications with all schools.
Touching upon schools, why is it important for schools to have this information?
It just means schools can be ready to play a proactive and informed role in protecting and supporting the child. Training is also being offered to school staff, teaching them to identify and support children affected by domestic abuse. So in Nottinghamshire currently, all schools in the city and county are signed up to the Operation Encompass initiative. It's hoped to help with reduce the long-term impacts of domestic abuse on children through providing them with early intervention, and will enable teachers to gain a better understanding of what the impact of domestic abuse can be on a child.
Thanks, Emily. Nottingham City Council has decided to close down the Garvey Center this March. Businesses were given 28 days' notice to cease to operate. This comes following a fire risk assessment that found the issue concerning the fire doors. Since 1981, the centre on Lenton Boulevard has acted as a safe space for its members. Melissa Achobu has the story.
After 20 years involved in the centre, its manager Emre Ojobo is counting down the days to when he will open up for the last time. Named after political activist Marcus Garvey, has been a hub for Nottingham's Afro-Caribbean community for almost 40 years. But now a decision to close the centre because of safety concerns has left users feeling blindsided.
What maybe the council might fail to realise is that the Marcus Garvey Ballroom, Marcus Garvey Centre as a building is now beyond just a building, and there's a lot of cultural attachment to the community. So first and foremost, you lose culture, you lose representation. There are not that many venue spaces that are predisposed to the black audience, the black community.
A fire risk was first identified almost a year ago, but only in December did Nottingham City Council start to consider options for repairs. In a last-minute attempt to save the centre, more than 11,000 people have signed an online petition. They're calling for an immediate reopening and a 25-year lease on the building. Older members of the community are affected the most.
They were isolated. They'd finished work and had nowhere to go rather than being at home. So we wanted to add something to their lives, and we then created, it was a luncheon club at first. We call it a luncheon club. And the council got involved and saw it. It was running so beautiful. On any day, we could have 50 people coming in. Their daughters were dropping them in. They were having their meals.
But for now, events such as social get-togethers for older members have been cancelled. With the centre due to close next month, this will leave many isolated without a lifeline to their community. Melissa Achobu for CBJ News.
One of Nottingham's most famous landmarks has won much-needed cash to secure its future. Newstead Abbey, home of the famous poet Lord Byron, has been awarded £1.5 million to keep it open to the public for generations to come. Tom Sell is here to tell us all about it. So Tom, can you tell us a little bit more about the Abbey?
The Abbey is located in between Nottingham and Mansfield, and it's famously known for being the home of ancestral home of Lord Byron. Lord Byron, the Byron family, got the Abbey as part of the Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries in the 1600s, and then stayed into the Byron family until Byron's death, and then was sold a few times until it came into the hands of Nottingham City Council.
So why is Newstead Abbey important?
Well, it's important because of Lord Byron. Lord Byron is an incredibly famous and important and influential poet. His poems influenced novels such as Jane Eyre, Pride and Prejudice. His own life influenced much of Dracula, and his death was used as a spark for Greek independence. So the reason why Newstead Abbey is important is because of Lord Byron.
So where is this money coming from?
Well, the money's coming from the Labour government directly. The Labour government is part of a new scheme. A larger scheme is distributing 270 million to arts in the UK. These arts are going towards music venues, libraries and museums, and Newstead Abbey is one of those beneficiaries. I spoke to someone at Newstead Abbey on why funding is so important.
Because of the history, it's our heritage. And we need to keep this going for the future generations. It's all important. People need to come, see what we've got here, know that we're looking after it for the future.
And what exactly will they spend it on?
Well, the 1.5 million will mainly be put on the roof. The roof started to collapse in 2018, but nothing was really done about this. This is so important because inside Newstead Abbey itself are artefacts, including lace from the lace market, original portraits of Lord Byron, and also some works of his. So that's why the funding is so vital. Work is meant to start in May and will take approximately 3 years to make, where parts of the Abbey will be closed to the public.
Thanks, Tom.
Lead is an excellent way for them to burn off energy, and with spring on the way, many owners are excited to get outside and enjoy the warmer weather with their pet. But it's important to remember that the impact off-lead dogs may have on local wildlife. Francesca Vukovic reports.
Banning from Wildlife and Countryside Link explains why this ban is in place. These are some of our most charismatic species, such as the curlew, the nightjar or the lapwing. For me, skylarks, which are a ground nesting bird as well, they're particularly reminiscent of spring, as they have a really recognisable sound, which when you know what to listen for. And ground nesting birds are nearly 16 times more likely to be in decline than other bird species across Europe. Their vulnerability has increased by other changes, such as land use change and intensive farming. And the government can do more by taking action to reach the target to protect 30% of land and sea for nature. But we can all do our best to limit disturbance to these species, which is another significant threat. Dog owner Sonia Wheatley shared her opinion on receiving a fine and how she keeps her dog from disturbing the local wildlife.
I think that's quite steep. However, that probably would stop people from doing it, wouldn't it, and disturbing nature, causing anxiety to wildlife. So actually, yes, it's probably a good thing. I know I'd make sure that my dog was on a lead if it were me going into one of those areas. And I think dog owners should actually respect it. If they want to go in areas where there's wildlife, etc., then I think they should be careful with their animals, their dogs.
Let's all make sure to do our part in looking after the wildlife this spring. Francesca Vukovic reporting for CBJ News.
Nottingham will be lit up across the city tonight as the two-day event is set to begin. Nottingham Castle, Sneinton Market and the Robin Hood statue will all see mesmerising installations, with the main event heading toward the Market Square. Kira Handley has more.
Nottingham Light Night starts tonight, illuminating various venues across the city. The Old Market Square hosts Primal Future, the main attraction of the night, as the council house transforms into a canvas of stunning projections showing vibrant dance routines and impressive graphics.
The city's going to be lit up with all sorts of fantastic light shows, which is, I think it'd be great, particularly for my daughter.
Previous events have attracted 50,000 visitors a year. Tourists and locals can enjoy the attractions, as well as an array of food and drink from vendors in the city centre.
It's the first time we've been on it. I am excited to be in the city centre trading. It's going to be a very good experience for the weekend, I suppose. Tiring, but worth it in the end, basically.
There's a lot going on. It's Lenten, and then there's bits going on. There's bits going on. The statue, Robin Hood statue.
Very busy later on, yeah. This will be quite solid, put them down here. But usually they project a lot of images onto the council house. I see they've got a lot of screens on the front of the council house, so I assume they're doing something like that, but it changes every year.
It's been running for 17 years, but many residents say there hasn't been enough publicity about the event.
If I had to put the local news on this morning, I wouldn't have known. I'd have probably just walked by and whatever. So I think it wants advertising a bit more.
It starts at 5 p.m. tonight and finishes late tomorrow night. Kira Handley, CBJ News, Nottingham.
Free bus and tram travel for pensioners and people with disabilities will continue across Nottingham for another year. Ella Jackson reports.
Pensioners in Nottingham using public transport have been given an extra boost this week, as the City Council has announced they are funding their public transport for free. For many, the pass means more than just free travel. It's a lifeline that allows them to stay independent, access essential services and maintain social connections.
I had free transport before I reached retirement age because I had spinal problems, so I got a disability travelling pass as well. So I've had it years.
If I choose to use it during the day, and I've got trained with my wheelie walker, it's fine. I can choose the bus stop where it's easy to get on, and city transport drivers are excellent in advising you.
Free travel, that's all right, that's good, Paid enough for it, in the past.
Councillor Neil Clark, Cabinet Member for Transport and Environment, said that he is proud to be carrying on these commitments for the next financial year so that Nottinghamshire pass holders can continue to get out and about. Nottingham County Council has decided to continue issuing these passes as they've proven so popular. The free travel scheme allows people to use the city's buses and trams during off-peak times. On weekdays it's between 9:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on weekends it's available all day. In a year's time, the future of the free travel scheme will be determined by the East Midlands Combined Authority, which is expected to assess its financial sustainability and overall impact on the community. But for now, many can continue to travel for free. Ella Jackson, CBJ News.
Now with all the latest sport news across the East Midlands, here's James Place.
Hosting Ipswich at the City Ground on Monday night in the 5th round of the FA Cup. It follows the penalty win that knocked out Exeter City in the last match of the 4th round a fortnight ago. Meanwhile, in the Premier League, Leicester City remain in relegation trouble after they lost 2-0 at West Ham last night. The defeats left the Foxes 5 points away from the safety net. Looking ahead to this weekend, and struggling Derby County are away at Middlesbrough tomorrow. The Rams are currently second to last in the Championship table. They've lost 3 of their last 5 games. In League One action, Mansfield Town travelling to Burton Albion tomorrow. The Stags have lost 9 of their past 10 matches across all competitions, with only a solitary point picked up in the past 6 weeks. And down in League 2, Notts County are away tomorrow afternoon against mid-table side Fleetwood. The Magpies are currently sitting in 5th place on the table within 1 point of League One promotion. And in ice hockey, Nottingham Panthers are hosting Dundee Stars tomorrow night at the Motorpoint Arena, before heading up to Scotland to face bottom side Fife Flyers on Sunday. That's all from me, now back to you.
Nottingham has plenty of great sports teams like County and Forest, but have you heard of the Nottingham Octopus Club? Despite its fun and fitness appeal, the future of the club is now in question with membership at an all-time low. The club is struggling to keep afloat. Max Mackenzie went to find out more.
Diving deep, these members of Nottingham Octopus Club are training hard to improve their underwater skills. The hockey team, which meets every Wednesday at Harvey Haddon Sports Village, is almost 15 years old.
Underworld hockey, it's really cool in my opinion. What it is you have 2 teams of 6 people, and they play with a heavier puck that goes to the bottom of the pool, and they swim down using a much smaller stick, it's about this big, not a great big ice hockey stick, and they work in teams to try and score goals.
Players use special equipment, so I put on my cap, snorkel, flippers and gloves and took the leap of faith. Despite its appeal, NOC is short of members after fewer swimmers return to the pool after COVID. With declining numbers, the club's struggling to cover its costs.
At the moment, we have like roughly 7 or 8 members a session, and the problem we've got with that is that with the current costs of the pool, 7 or 8 members simply doesn't cover the cost of the session. To cover the cost of the session, we'd need something like 12 members coming per session, and we just don't have that at the moment.
Swimming, known for its health benefits, offers a low-impact, full-body workout. With a competitive element, Octopus takes it to the next step.
I used to be a swimmer, competitive swimmer, and that's great, you do a lot of fitness work, it's really good for your health, but the thing about underwater hockey for me, which kind of trumps that, is the fact that there's more than just swimming up and down. There's so much more dynamics to it, there's so much more depth to the game, much more sort of thinking involved, which personally I really enjoy. Yeah, it's great fun, and it's just as good for fitness, if not better.
With just enough money for another 2 months, the club's hoping to attract new members to keep it afloat. Max Mackenzie, CBJ News.
And now for your weather with Amelia Shaw.
As we move into the evening, we can expect temperatures to drop by 2 degrees by midnight. Skies will clear and winds will continue to be light from the southeast, making for a chilly but dry night. Tomorrow you can expect a cool day with temperatures to reach a high of 8 degrees and a small chance of rain. Overall, it will be a relatively mild day with a blend of sun and clouds. And the outlook for Sunday to Tuesday, a largely dry and settled period with some sunny spells with overnight frost and fog likely. It'll be turning cloudier on Monday with patchy drizzle, temperatures around average for this time of year.
That's all your news for today. You can keep up to date with us across social media everywhere at CBJ News.
Or you can visit our website, cbjspotlight.co.uk.
Bye for now.